What's good, YouTube? It's Nas, and we back with another video. Road to 400 subscribers, of course, and if you notice, the same, because I'm recording this right after the Jokic video. And today's video, I was thinking about Lauri Markkanen, and I was thinking, is Lauri Markkanen the most underrated player in the NBA right now? Because I'm seeing all these screenshots, all these clips of Lauri Markkanen dominating during the I'm pretty sure it's the Eurobasket tournament, and obviously we know Lauri Markkanen is in Utah, so nobody's really watching Utah Jazz games. No offense if you're a Utah fan. I have the utmost faith in Ace Bailey, but what does Lauri Markkanen have to do to get recognized? Because we know in the 22-23 season, he made his first All-Star appearance, and then after that All-Star appearance, we really haven't heard about him in the NBA that much as we do with the other All-Stars or other people who make All-Star teams. Like, they're usually marketed. Like, say my favorite player, LaMelo Ball, he made an All-Star team all the way in 21, and he's still marketed like he's an All-Star. But in Utah, like the 23 season, like Lauri Markkanen after that, like he just fucking disappeared, I feel like. But we know that Lauri Markkanen couldn't help out a championship team right away, or I hope y'all know that, because what Lauri Markkanen has been doing the last couple seasons hasn't been unnoticed from me. Because there be some times that I said nobody watches the Utah Jazz game, but there's some times where it's a close game in Utah because they somehow they somehow are in competition with all the top tier teams. I'm like, oh shit, Lauri Markkanen just hit a couple clutch shots. Lauri Markkanen just bagged a nigga. I'm like, oh shit, like why are we not talking about him? Like, why? Like, that's what the NBA is missing. I feel like we just talk about key names, but why doesn't people talk about the names that are overshadowed with being in basically a market where you're a market, let's say like a market that is not for the casual fan, because I feel like the casual fan is not watching the Utah Jazz. The casual fan is not watching the Toronto Raptors. Like, even though those teams, I feel like they could be better, like they are on the upward. I feel like the Utah Jazz are on the upward growth. I don't know what the Toronto Raptors are doing. I made that video a month ago asking what the hell they're doing, but anyway, I feel like Lauri Markkanen should be appreciated like he is an All-Star, and what he's doing for and I forgot where he's from, but what he's doing right now in that Eurobasket is crazy, bro. Because every time I'm chilling, I'm scrolling on my phone, I see Lauri Markkanen at 40, Lauri Markkanen at 30 and 12. I'm like, God damn, like, is this nigga doing this in the league? And I go to look at his stats, and turns out some of these games he is, but obviously, like I said, the 23 season he was top tier player, but obviously he's basically fell off. His marketing has fell off. I don't feel like the player of Lauri Markkanen has fell off at all. I feel like there's been more talent, young talent around the Utah Jazz. That's why I don't really see why Danny Ainge insists to keep Lauri Markkanen. Like, I feel like him and Ace Bailey, or whatever the Utah Jazz are building right now with their young core, does Lauri Markkanen fit the timeline? Because I feel like Lauri Markkanen is an all-star level player now. And like, for example, I feel like Lauri Markkanen could really help out the Golden State Warriors, but they never really seem to make that trade work. And Lauri Markkanen is 28, and he won't be 29 till after the season ends for them, because let's be real, do y'all think that the Utah Jazz are going to make the NBA playoffs this season? Because I really don't. But next season he will be 29 in May, and he's really been a top echelon player, even though not really getting marketed like one. Like, I hope that makes sense. Hopefully I'm not blabbering on about, but let's just go to his stats, because I feel like I've said enough, or I've been enough praising with Lauri Markkanen, because who the hell else is going to do it? Because I haven't seen no videos talking about Lauri Markkanen being a top tier player, Lauri Markkanen being a missing piece that one of these championship teams need, and he can be one of those championship pieces that you need. But this all started when he got traded from the Bulls, and that Cleveland stint showed me a lot out of Markkanen. In the 21-22 season, he averaged 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. And Lauri Markkanen was way better on the Cavs than he was on the Bulls. I feel like on the Bulls he showed flat, but it honestly looked like he was starting to put it together in Cleveland before he was obviously traded for Donovan Mitchell. And I don't think y'all remember, but the 21-22 Cavs were about to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure that was the season where they lost to the Atlanta Hawks, and they couldn't really do anything. They couldn't stop them, or they couldn't stop each other. Like they were too offensive. But anyway, in the 21-2022 season, not in the 21-22 season, in the 22-23 season, Lauri Markkanen's first and only All-Star appearance, he averaged 25.5 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And I was surprised they even picked him for the All-Star team back then, because obviously the Utah Jazz weren't this top-tier team. But what Lauri Markkanen was doing on a night-to-night basis, he was finally appreciated, he was finally noticed, and him making that monster jump from obviously being a role player to being this team or this all-star level player or this core piece that you could build a championship around or have him complement to a championship around. I'm like, oh shit, Lauri Markkanen has gotten way better. And you give Lauri Markkanen the ball, he either gonna let that bitch fly or he gonna go to the rim. And what they call him in Utah now, they call him the finisher. And yo, I'm pretty sure some of these highlights are gonna show Lauri Markkanen's fucking dunks, cause that nigga shocked me. I had to ask my brother a couple years ago. I'm like, Lauri Markkanen always had these hops. He was like, yeah, he like a Porzingis but more athletic. I'm like, oh, okay. Like Lauri showed me something. But anyway, in the 23-24 season, Lauri Markkanen averaged 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. He only played 55 games this season, and that's probably why he's not recognized, because he hasn't played above 60 games since his All-Star appearance. And last season, he only played 47 games, and he averaged 19.6 rebounds and 1.5 assists, because most of the season, I seen that he was actually injured. So what can you do when you're injured and you can't be marketed like you're a top-tier star, or you are a star if you are always on the injury list? But anyway, I'm trying to look up the Utah Jazz roster because I really don't think he fits their timeline at all, or what Danny Ainge is trying to build actually. Because I don't know. Like, it's just something about having that many forwards on the team. I feel like a couple years ago they had so many guards. Now I feel like they have so many forwards. So do you trade one of them, or do you just let them mesh together? Because as we all know, you need a forward to make this work in the NBA today. Like, I remember it used to be guards, it used to be centers. Now I feel like this is a forwards league. Like, the best players are forwards, I feel like. Yes, we got the Jokic, we have the Sheas, we have the Currys, but most of that top 10, I feel like we would say, are forwards. So I don't know, but the Utah Jazz roster consists of Lauri Markkanen, Ace Bailey, Walker Kessler, Kyle Flipowski, who went off in Summer League, so he has to find a way to get some minutes, Keontae George, Kevin Love. I'm surprised Kevin Love wasn't bought out yet. I don't expect him to play a single game in Utah. Cody Williams, Isaiah Collier, Walter Clayton Jr., Yusuf Nurkic, Bryce I don't know how to say his name, but he's a bucket. Taylor Hendricks, George Niang, Kyle Anderson, RJ Lewis, KJ Martin, like so many forwards. So how do you make this work? But this isn't a Utah Jazz video. This is a Lauri Markkanen appreciation video, because not a lot of people are going to give Lauri Markkanen the credit where what he's doing right now. And August 27th, during this EuroLeague shit, he had 28.6 rebounds. August 29th, he had 43 points and 2 rebounds. August 30th, he had 28 points and 13 rebounds. So he's just going off. And I just wanted to make this video talking about, is Lauri Markkanen the most underrated player in the NBA right now? Subscribe. I hope you enjoy. What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and engage in the channel. There's a video on the left, and I'm pretty sure the channel icon's in the right. Click one of them holes, man. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. It helps me out, and I appreciate you.